Hey everybody, Orange Podcast Bad. Paul. Between me and you and Edward and JC now hanging out with us, we are on episode 47. Ironically, we're
Unbelievable.
on our 47th president. Man, that went fast.
Yeah,
47 episodes that was quick.
yeah.
Good to see you, JC. How you doing? Both fellas. The
Never be
internet is
never better.
fucking wild. And all I could come up with today for a title was these are not the answers you're looking for, because all the stuff you're rage posting about, isn't going to give you the answers you're looking for. And I just wish I could get that away. Like I could communicate that to them in mass so that they start asking better questions. Whether it's Epstein, whether it's you name it, right? You're not asking the right questions. And when you get the answers you're seeking, you're going to be super disappointed because there's nothing there in the question you're asking.
Aldous Huxley said it best, author of Brave New World. You shall know the truth, and the truth will make you mad.
Right? Well, so there was I don't know, there was a post today. Trump said something about, I think the FBI should investigate this Epstein hoax. I replied to the Inside Paper, and I replied, and I was like, "Wait, did anyone notice Trump just said that the FBI should now investigate the CIA?" And like nobody got it.
Nobody got it.
Nobody
Yeah,
got it because they're asking the wrong questions.
yeah.
I mean, anyone who lived through the last 10 years that doesn't think that the Biden administration, the Biden FBI, the Biden DOJ had access to that stuff, and it doesn't say exactly what they wanted to say. And even now that they know it's a big deal, the idea that there are not deep state actors that have access to the documents who will be forging things in there to embarrass him. I mean, they're daring him to say, just release everything. Well, he basically already did.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but they didn't. And so now they think they're setting a bear trap for him. And
Yeah.
let's face it, he's too smart for it. He just is. He understands the game.
He really
And
does.
it really bothers me that more people would. Okay, what was the topic 2 weeks ago on this podcast? Wasn't it the Iran thing?
Sure.
Does
Oh, I'm sorry.
anybody? Does
Oh,
anybody?
yeah. I ran. Yeah.
Yeah,
With on the Tuesday show. Yeah, I ran.
yeah. Yeah, World War III, right? We were headed for World War III. I mean, you guys, when you messaged me, Sean, I was downstairs listening to Tel Aviv Levin, and I was just laughing. And Tel Aviv Levin is going on and on about how isn't it great that his new book, no one's restricting it. No shit. They when you were once a rebel, now you're one of them. Of course, they're going to let you spread your propaganda. Why
Sure.
would they try to suppress anything you're saying? They've captured you. They found out your goals, your objectives, and I've typed this on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, a million times. Hey, Mark, you taught us how to fight. He really did. I could give you, I'm not going to bore you, but I give you chapter and verse on make the case, stand tall, get in there, make the case. Even if you lose, make the case because it's educational. There's virtue in the struggle. Go for it, go for it, go for it. And then it came. It came. They stole a presidential election and our leader chose career.
Right? Well, you bring up a good point. So 2 weeks ago on
That's a great
when we
point.
had
I was
Yankee
stunned.
on, right? We had the Yankee on, and the internet outrage. Now, listen, I know a lot of the bigger accounts, they do it because they know you're outraged, and say they post something that gets them engagement. They get thousands of dollars off the post. whatever. I'm talking about the people who respond to the posts that are outraged. You were outraged that Trump bombed Iran and said we were going to World War III 2 weeks ago, right? And you didn't. What's your response now?
Response was peace.
Yes.
I mean, of course, Israel bombed Syria today, so I mean they're obviously not done, but Iran is done. And I'm sitting there saying, and I'm watching Richard. I'm going to name a few names: Richard Barris and all these guys that you trusted. But when you peel back the onion, you find out they're not calling balls and strikes. They want to be influencers.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, Rich. That's not your lane, man. You're way over your head. And you are speculating that Trump's base is going to abandon him over the most awesome military strike in the history of warfare. Yeah,
Yep.
oh yeah. As a Trump America First supporter, I can't support that. Come on, man. I mean, even Carlson. I mean, Alex Jones. The bombing was going on, and Jones's aunt said it was live. It wasn't. He was going on about how his father got cheated by somebody, and I'm just like, holy crap!
Yeah,
Holy
what the
crap!
hell are you talking about?
The
Well,
guy that was out
seriously.
there at the what do they call that thing in the woods where all the perverts gather and all that? He spied on them, and he's gotten so much street cred over doing that, and getting in their faces and all that. Is sitting there whining about his father's financial status while Donald Trump is taking out the Iranian nuclear program. Doesn't have enough wherewithal to shut up.
well,
That's a good one.
I
well,
did
and
not.
then
Okay, and I'll stop.
go ahead.
I did not
Go
have
ahead.
the discrediting of right wing influencers on my bingo card in 2025.
I
But
thought it would come later. I agree. But I want to get Paul in here. Paul, so everyone says Trump's or Israel. It's the Joos Jews
of course,
that were attacking Syria, and the way I understand it, it was a response to the Houthis attacking Israeli Druze Muslims. Am I off on that read?
No, you're not off at all. That's exactly what happened. It was misreported, but the Houthis put on what I would call an orchestrated uh, incursion or attack or whatever you want to call it against them, and they the response from Israel was direct and immediate and appropriate. I'll say.
listen,
Well,
listen.
yeah.
We could go ahead, Sean.
Well, and that's put everybody right. All they saw it was the Joos. It was the Jews. See, the Jews are still on attack. They're still right. They didn't see that this was just a response to the Houthis, which is also another wing of Iran.
It's just it's so disingenuous, and I mean, we've been doing this for years, right, Sean?
Oh
And
yeah,
we always are aghast at the media response because it's antithema. It's just against
right.
what I just don't get the long game for the media for misreporting that kind of stuff.
They don't have one.
Well, couldn't it be they do, and their long game is that they want to burn it all down through their Marxist ideology?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's a constant. What they don't understand is that we truly are in the midst of a fourth turning, and this is the reckoning. And the way the Middle East is going to be reordered is with Israel as a fact of life. And I don't care how much hate or whatever is being expended towards them by ayatollahs and all the rest of that. The fact is, the Israelis have demonstrated if American military technology is harnessed in a fight to win, it cannot be defeated. And it's breathtaking what they've done. I mean, those things that went into those apartment buildings and blew up the IRGC in their beds and didn't even turn off the electricity in the next room.
Do you remember the pager bombs? This is the Mossad
Yes,
we're talking about. Do you remember other precision where they had placed bombs into the wall of a house and waited 6 months until the guy came back to his house and they're like, click.
clearly we learned from them because that's what Ukraine did to the Russian strategic bombers. I
Yeah.
mean,
Well,
and
of
they're
course,
all
we had
celebrating.
nothing
No,
to
I
do with
gotta
that.
tell you,
No, we had nothing.
nothing beats the exploding pager that blew the balls off of all these guys. That was hands down the greatest thing ever.
I declared to my friends on X, World War III just ended. Those guys spent how many millions of our dollars, of course, training these 4,000 tough fighters, and I'm sure they were pretty tough. But we went from the river to the sea, from the belly to the knee. All right, everybody
Well,
lost their balls at 5:36 a.m.
well,
Oh, there he
wait.
is.
Hey,
Yeah,
speaking of
So,
losing your balls,
oh no, we got Canuck in the room. But wait,
Speaking
Yeah,
of
you know me
balls,
too well.
speaking of balls, we've got King Edward.
so,
How are you
well,
gents doing tonight? I was
good.
listening in a bit, couldn't get the link. Slowly, but got in. I was tied up for a little bit, but
Well, we
I
know
made
you
it.
don't. We know you don't computer, and the first link was bad, so I sent you 5 more just to confuse the shit out of you.
Yeah, you can try any of them you want.
They'll all work.
Well, you, well,
Well,
yeah.
anyway,
Actually,
JC.
this
So could
is the
Paul,
most important thing.
because I don't know that you know the conversation we've had Paul with about this, but so there's three different tiers, right? You've got Iran itself, you got the Houthis, you got Hamas, and they're all different skill levels, also different funded levels. They all have different weapons systems capability. The Houthis, I believe, is the top tier third party, right? Out
I,
of
I
Iran.
thought I thought Hezbollah was, but I don't think they
no,
exist anymore.
Hezbollah is.
Hezbollah.
Yeah,
Well,
I think they're gone. I mean, what can they do now? I mean, if you blow the balls off 4,000 of your best fighters, what do you have?
so Hezbollah is pretty sophisticated, and they have the most modern weapons, followed closely by the Houthis.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, what the lion's share of Americans don't understand is these are fucking cave dwelling, goat eating uh, fuckheads. They're just fuckheads.
Yeah,
They're not sophisticated. The only thing they know is, they take a handful of them, bring them back to Iran. Iran trains them on missile systems, on, anti aircraft, all that kind of stuff. And then they send them back. And look, I know this from experience. I was a program manager in Africa, and we had a driver training program for the Sudanese. So the SPLA, which was the Sudanese army at the time, sent their best and brightest to go to do this truck driver training and maintenance. So in military, there's maintenance 1, maintenance 2, and maintenance 3. Maintenance 1 is an oil change, and you take a steel pipe and you hit the tires, make sure they got air in them. I mean, it's not a big deal. Well, our first day of training, I said, I want you guys to walk around the trucks, get familiar with them, go up in the cab, sit down, just get familiarized with the truck. We're not driving today. We're just going to get familiarized with them. And I noticed everybody was outside the truck. Nobody was going in the cab.
Okay.
Well, then we found out that these, goat herder fucking cave dwellers didn't know what a door handle was on a fucking truck. They didn't know how to open the door to get inside. And I'm like, this is your best and your brightest? Well, this is going to be a long day. So I went back to the State Department and I said, you're 2 generations away from teaching the Sudanese how to drive trucks. And then 3 years later, once we struggled through all that, wherever a truck had a flat tire, ran out of gas, or was rolled over, there were 2 or 3 families living in it. There was no recovery. Nobody fixed the flats. Just people moved into them as apartments.
That
And
sounds
that's
like
exactly the Houthis. That's exactly Hezbollah.
that sound as an observation. That sounds like Christian missions in Africa. You know that.
Yeah, it's exactly right, JC. Yeah.
If you build it, they will come and they'll put their animals in it. Yeah, that's what works. And might I add, sounds like the same caliber of folks, those goat herds that were out on their iPhones and they saw that video about Muhammad that really pissed them off and they grabbed their mortars and went to Benghazi and killed everybody. I mean, just exactly the same stock of people, right?
yeah. Hillary didn't make any of that story up
Oh,
whatsoever. It's 100% true. You should totally believe it.
Oh, yeah.
what difference does it make? Hey, we'll
Oh,
get
yeah.
the guys who made that video. She's I'm
Have
sorry,
you
I'm
guys
still
have
capable of
you guys ever
outrage.
seen there's a book, I haven't bought it and read it yet, but Buzz Patterson, he used to carry the nuclear football for Bill Clinton. So he lived in the White House. Like he puts out some amazing stories about once a week about how when Hillary was actually in the White House, everyone would go hide in the hallways and the tunnels because she was such an evil, evil bitch. They didn't even, she would said, "You're not allowed to look me in the eyes. Don't address me. Don't talk to me." And so they made sure they would actually just slide in to one of the hidden hallways when she would
Yeah,
walk by and then come back out and resume their work.
that sounds like my ex-wife.
Such a joyous person.
We must
Oh,
have been married to the same woman.
Yeah, no doubt. No
Probably her
well said,
sister.
Yeah.
doubt. No wonder Bill had a girlfriend.
that.
Uh, yeah, maybe more than one from time to time.
It sounds like it. But whatever. I could not imagine her becoming queen because she would have become an autocratic queen.
Oh,
Oh,
that
she
was
was a
her.
miserable heifer. When I was living in DC and doing all that work for the State Department and stuff, so she was heavily involved with the State Department. And I'd been to a couple of meetings where she was there, and it was
Oh,
her or the highway. It was just she was miserable. And I gotta say, she treated I'm you know, I make fun of some of the folks in the State Department. You got a female PhD in international political Oda Doodah Day and all that kind of stuff, but their heart's in the right place. So we had 2 or 3 PhD females that were in Somalia and Sudan and the Darfur region that were we reported to them for stuff. And I have to say, as liberal as they were, we respected them because they would actually come to Sudan and get boots on the ground and go to Darfur and go to these camps and stuff that we were building. And I gave them a little bit of respect for, you know, being
Doing,
girly girls and
doing their
doing
job.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Hillary would just
No.
vilify them. Just vilify them. And if the overarching mission of the State Department wasn't as far, like the truck training I just told you about, dude, you take 85 guys that have one or two cows apiece and they literally fight with a spear, or I mean, hunt with a spear, and you want them to be able to change the oil on an MAN truck and drive it and do the maintenance on it, you're not realistic. And the PhD gals,
Just
they realized that. They said, okay, we need to back this down a notch. Let's try to, do some other things. And Hillary would just vilify them, just tear them up for not meeting the State Department goals and stuff.
can't they read the directions? I can hear it right now. I mean, how hard can it be? I mean, we sent them pictures, color by number. I mean, you just need to change the tire.
That's
Can they
where she
read?
was. That was exactly who she was, dude. I swear to God. It can't
I've
be
met
that
her.
hard.
I've
Well,
met
have
her
you ever
many
changed a
times.
tire? You miserable fucking hack.
Corporations are filled with her.
Oh
You
yeah.
know it.
Yeah.
Okay. And they always rise because they shine the right boots and they're so energetic and they're this and they're that. They never have an original thought. All they're looking to do is have influence and they'll spout whatever they're told to spout. So that's why so many companies, once the founder moves on, turn into something like Walmart. And obviously Walmart's still successful, but many smaller companies that lose their founder, they found it. They just
Yeah,
they just go to hell because they're filled with
that's
people
right.
that don't know how to execute. They just don't.
Yeah.
You have to deal with people where they're at. I mean, on a personal level, I'm dealing with it right now because I broomed everybody 3 months ago, which is a matter of 4 months ago, whatever, which is a matter of public record. And you've been filling in a new team, and now they're looking at me and they're like, "What are we doing?" And I said, "Well, this is how it works." And they go, "Well, who said that?" I said, "I said that."
Yeah.
Right?
No, I mean, the person, and it's a small example, but the person who is most likely to retain the client is going to get the next one who doesn't ask for a specific name. Well, that's not fair. What's not fair about it? Do you want the business to grow? If you want to be next, rebook the people you're with. And tomorrow, you'll be first in line,
Yeah.
but earn it. Don't expect welfare. And if you don't have any clients, they just built a Starbucks right in the parking lot over there. I
Yep.
bought $2,000 worth of Starbucks gift cards, put 10 of them in your purse, and go over there and show them what you can do and bring them back and do it.
And yeah, that's exactly right. And I have a
It's,
Starbucks septum ring for you. You can put that in your
brother, if she can pay $8 for coffee, she can afford to have her hair done. All right.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
my target market, and they're bringing them to my parking lot. And yes, I have them geo-fenced, and
Yep.
yes, I've got all the, I'm collecting all the data on them to market to them. But I've got to have people with agency. And if you guys don't step up, I'll be a podcaster. I won't do this anymore.
Right.
I'm done unless I can find a sugar daddy like Edward to invest.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah.
It's funny you should say that because
You
what
were
you're
thinking
talking
about
about.
it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, what you just described is exactly the majority of people I run into up here in Canada, where everybody's in line for a handout or some type of government program they can write off of. And you know what? No one wants to stand on their own 2 feet anymore. They need this or that, or you know what? It's about time. You become an independent and use your own skills or whatever it is you're employed with and get after it. But nobody seems to want to do that anymore. I don't know what it
Nobody
is.
wants to do it. Nobody wants to step up.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why they're so happy to be in this. If you want to call it, it's more than socialist today, but this almost it would seem communist regime because we're pretty close to that anyways. And that socialism and America, I think is awfully close to that fence line where they can find themselves in that same position, worse than what they were with the
We've got
Biden administration.
generations of people who've been taught to live off the system, Edward.
That's, yeah,
We're not
that's
there.
it.
We're not where you're at. We're not there.
Thank you, LBJ.
Yeah, thanks, Johnson, you
Yeah.
jackass.
Oh,
Hey,
Edward, on
I
a
ran
personal
out of
note.
beer. I'll be right back.
All right,
Good
go
one
for it,
all of
brother.
us. Yeah.
Edward, on a personal note, I have something to show you. If I look to the right, will you promise not to shoot me?
That's Trump's
Okay.
chart. It's his favorite chart.
And my second observation is that, and I know Twitter X is not a scientific sample, but from the commenting from the females in Canada,
Oh my
I
God.
mean, they make our women look like Abigail fucking Adams. Okay, I mean, you've got a big problem up there.
I know. And you know what? Most of these white liberal urban women, liberal women, I should say, are the worst. I mean, they've done enough damage, in America, as Trump would say and talk about, but up here, yeah, they're relentless. They want everything for nothing. Marriage, forget about it. They think that they got that. Well, you got 2 arms, 2 legs, and a heartbeat. Get it yourself. You could have just worked, 14 hours a day. They don't care. That's how brutal these women are here. They're so, I don't even know what the word to use is because calling them, a socialist, it doesn't cut it. And I don't want to get nasty, with what I am thinking, but yeah, it's true. They're so bad up here. It's just unbelievable to find the actual true woman with value. Yeah, that's a hard find. So
Well,
that,
you can use there's that word. It was the kid on the Christmas story. He said it was the one word, fudge. I think he said a different word, but you're allowed to use that word. I have this set to
oh
an
yeah.
18 plus audience.
Well, I don't want to. I wasn't going to
Um,
use the. Yeah, I wasn't going to use that word. I was just trying to think of a more of a descriptive word that I could employ. But yeah, not going to do it.
no, I
Yeah,
mean, it's ridiculous how clueless they are, and I mean, it's almost
I know.
all of them. I've yet to encounter a Canadian female that has any sense other than Liz Churchill. By the way, to me she looks like a goddess. I don't know if you know her, but
Yeah,
she's an Alex Jones acolyte. She's absolutely magnificent. But that's one. Okay, show me it was. My father always would say, "Show me it was no accident." And there's one other thing I want to know from my brother up there with the white hat on, the fellow curmudgeon. What's in
that's
that
me.
stein? What's in that stein
What do
that
Hmm.
you just brought in the room? I saw
Well,
it.
we can't advertise. We just know it's got
Uh,
6.8
uh,
ABP.
okay,
This is
I,
this
they
is
coming in.
We
this
can't
What?
is
advertise the
Voodoo
company.
Ranger Imperial Ranger IPA.
Oh,
Again, not an advertisement. Thanks for
we
telling us.
all right. Well, we won't. But I need to party with him. Okay, I'm
Dude,
in.
Edward's the
Indeed.
only one drinking Diet Coke right now. So
Hey, KC, I got a full gun range out here. You like shooting?
Yingling.
Yeah. Cheers, everybody.
First,
Edward,
cheers.
how's your
First
Dr.
American.
Pepper?
I won't advertise. First American German brewery in America. There you are.
Oh,
What is
Yingling.
that? Yingling?
Yeah, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Pennsylvania. Very
You know
first.
what? Every time I gotta say, man, when I go
East.
because I'm a defense contractor, I go to DC quite a lot, and it's Yingling and Stella inside the Beltway.
Really?
That's
Yeah.
the two favorite beers, dude, hands down. Is
Well,
Yingling
once
and
they gave
Stella
up on,
Artois.
and once they gave up on Bud Light, yeah, for
Oh, of
obvious
course.
reasons, yeah.
Yes. They all switched over finally went to Yingling then, right?
Oh, something that has some taste, right? Yeah, okay. All right.
Mickey, Mickey's
Listen,
Big
I could
Mouth.
do. I'm okay. U.S. Grant's home is less than a mile from here. I'm pointing at it, all right? And right over the other side of the road is Grant's farm. That's where August Bush lived, all right? When he signed Whitey Herzog as the manager of the Cardinals, he did it in the mansion there. And
Nuh-uh.
when he named Herzog general manager, Mr.
No
Budweiser.
way.
Oh yeah, and his son was the big eagle that made Budweiser the number 1 brand in the United States. And all it took was one woke retard
Yes.
to destroy
Avoid it.
the
Hundreds of
whole
years of
thing.
reputation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you know what? That does more on that. This is that the
Oh, that was
hiring
a white level
practices.
woman.
Well, yeah, but let's just go with all these hires. And do we say the DEIs? I don't care if it's uh, East Indian, could be Russian, could be woman, could be anything that you check that box to get that job, and they just wreck it, absolutely destroy it, and no one seems to care because it's all backed up by the WEF anyways, all the bigger companies. And by the way, I gotta say the I think the initial function or purpose with COVID was to get rid of all the mom and pop shops and just leave the WEF ones left or open, anyways, because everybody else had to close down. Everybody else open or left was just
You're
WEF.
thinking too granular. What they're trying to do is eliminate Western capitalism.
Yes.
You're thinking too granular
Yes.
into down to Brownsburg, Indiana. They wanted to eliminate beer's bill tap, right? Or whatever. They weren't focusing. They don't give a shit about beer and his bill, or his bill and his beer tap. They're trying to eliminate all capitalism, including Walmart and Amazon.
Well,
I don't know.
but they bought Walmart and Amazon off to do it for them. I mean, but obviously the end game will end up being destroying them as well. I mean, look at
Yeah,
Montgomery. Oh, we're going to have city-run grocery stores. Oh yeah, that's never been tried. I seem to recall Moscow, 1954 with Stalin. That went great. It really did. After you
Yeah.
starved all the Ukrainians and killed, 40
I mean,
40,000 of them or whatever it
but
was,
but
and you didn't
listen,
have any bread. Yeah, it worked out.
but listen, they didn't have social media, so this was their time to socialize with people. Was standing for 4 hours in a bread line.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's what they were
Yeah.
doing then. When you get
Right. They
on the
wanted people to
line,
get out of their houses and socialize. It was good.
yeah, well, they're starving
Communal.
because there's no bread on the shelves anyway. So what are we doing here?
John, it was communal. It was a bonding experience. You just don't understand the joys of
Listen,
communism.
they were waiting
Apparently,
for Jesus to show up and split the bread.
yeah.
Yeah. Cut it in half or fourths or whatever. You can
Yeah,
have
yeah.
a bite, and then you can come back next week.
So
So
wait,
you're in Pennsylvania, JC?
What's that?
You're in Pennsylvania?
No. I'm in St. Louis.
Oh, yeah.
Yingling's my beer now. I have not
Is that American?
imbibed in a drop of Anheuser-Busch product since I became familiar with Dylan Mulvaney. And I've
Yep.
heard and I've
Another one.
I've heard people say, well, that's too strident. No, it's not. You can't do that. And I could do a riff. I'll give you a couple highlights. We know that Budweiser wasn't the best tasting beer. All right. Bud
Right.
Light tastes even worse. Michelob's pretty good. Michelob Light really isn't light. It'll make you fat. I mean, we
Corona
all
is
know
also
that. It's
another
a
brand of theirs.
premium brew, but it's not that great. I mean,
Yeah.
the truth is that Michelob Golden Draft is actually decent. Okay, but they're not really good.
Yeah.
But but remember, we all bought it. And when I moved to New York, you could get a case of Budweiser, 24 long necks for $9.99.
Yeah.
And that wasn't only because, it was much earlier when they confronted them about why it was $23.99 in St. Louis and $9.99 in New York, where the costs were much higher. They said, well, sales are good here. We all knew that Anheuser-Busch was our company town. And if you were a working guy and you got in there and you played the game, for lack of a better term, and you worked hard, you could have a nice place. You could have a vacation. You could
Sure.
have a family. You could have a single income. That's what Anheuser-Busch is.
You're
It's
right.
a working class beer.
Yeah.
And the misread involved with a crazy woke Dutch bitch that would hire Dylan Mulvaney to expand the reach of the brand because the brand was fratty. And then the next thing you see is there she is at a frat party, down in Rolling Rock. I mean, you
I've seen that.
couldn't make a bigger mistake, and they should bleed for
I
that forever. I will never forgive them.
No, I'd be curious to find out, just because I'm a curious guy, if that woke white liberal woman uh, is has a successful or gainful job anywhere at this point.
Are we back on that
I
again?
wouldn't be surprised if she does, because there's still companies that
Of
totally
course she
believe in
does.
the woke.
The white,
Totally believe in the woke.
the white
But
It
liberal
but
wasn't.
to
It,
destroy
it
one of the
wasn't.
biggest brands in America, even though it was currently owned by a German company at the time, nobody gave a crap because it was built by America and they
Right.
bought it.
Yeah.
It
And
wasn't
I
quite as
gotta.
easy.
So
Go ahead, brother.
yeah, I just wanted to tell you, my dad built high-rise office buildings, so we were kind of Bedouins. It was like being a military brat. We
Yeah.
moved every 2 or 3 years, whether we needed to or not. But we
Mhm.
lived in Creve Coeur, in
Hey,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, in the early '70s, because my dad was building a couple of office buildings in downtown St. Louis, and
I may have
we.
worked in them. Yeah.
You know
Oh
what?
yeah, it was
You know what?
great.
You know what, Paul? It's no accident why they call it tradesmen's journeyman. Because when you're a journeyman, you journeyman, and that's why we have that name.
Oh yeah,
You, you
yeah,
you follow the money.
They think
I guess.
being an army brat, you move a lot and travel a lot. You should try being
yeah.
a journeyman. That it wipes them right out, right off the map. They haven't got a word to even talk about. But yeah, and you
Yeah,
know
I
what?
always say I'm a Bedouin son of Texas parents.
Oh, good
That's
one.
so awesome. That's so awesome. I absolutely want some of that Voodoo Ranger.
Yeah, but you've
Yeah.
had like four full lifetimes. One of them was Miami Vice, Don Johnson. I mean, you were out there
I
with the
was,
fucking
yeah.
Ferrari and the helicopters and doing all the DEA
Yeah.
shit.
Oh yeah.
Magnum was out in Hawaii doing the same thing before they burned Hawaii to Maui to smithereens, right?
It's true. It's true. All that brings me to, we didn't talk about it on Monday because I was busy. Paul, high rise, high density, Section 8 housing. They're not calling it Section 8.
In
They're
the
going to make the Pacific
Palisades. Yeah.
Palisades
Yeah, of
the most
course.
beautiful neighborhood in that portion of California into high density. 40% of it has to be, I looked at the bill, 40% of it has to be for people who are poor, low income, housing. It's going to block off Ocean View for everybody who lives to the east of it.
Can I ask a question?
That's the intention.
Can I ask a question? Why do we always
Yeah.
have to combine the rich, the middle class, the lower middle class, and
It
the
doesn't work.
but why do we do that? It's the most retarded thing. I don't want to be around people
Equity.
that are
A
outside of
word born from
doing.
Marxism. Equity. The poor should have the Palisades. It's the equitable
Redistribution.
thing to do.
Yeah, but
This is
it's not that I'm tough to get along with. It's just like if you're say upper middle class or something,
yeah,
or
yeah, you are. All right,
middle
anyway.
class. The fact is, you have a certain work schedule. You're not staying up 2:30 in the morning with the music blaring. Like that neighborhood just isn't for you. You know what I mean? Why are you trying to combine that when the lifestyles just don't match what you're living in? So it should
Wait,
be
holy shit! Did Edward just admit he's a boomer?
no.
Oh
he,
my
he,
God,
he wants
did,
to live in a
did.
library.
I think he's younger than me. I
Hey,
do. I'm
I am.
63.
Yeah, I am younger than
Holy
you,
shit!
All right.
but not by much.
I consider myself Gen X. I mean, most of my attitudes are Gen X. I can't even imagine being a boomer.
Well, I'm actually right on the
I'm a
line.
boomer.
You
I'm
are a boomer, Paul.
You are, but you're an atypical boomer.
You are,
correct.
but given your age, you were right on that line of being Gen X. You were the very last year or
Yeah,
two.
57. I was born in 57.
Yeah, you're
I'll
the
be
very last year.
68 in August.
62.
I'm not even
So
telling you anymore.
I claim Gen X status, but I
Well,
don't know if I
Edward's been
get
around
it.
since the Earth was young.
Yeah,
He actually
What,
met Joe
what year
Biden
were you born, JC?
in the year 12.
you're correct. Yeah.
JC,
Edward,
what year were you born?
64 in the fall.
All right,
I'm
he's
right
the
on
same
the
age
line
as
of,
my younger sister. All right,
I'm right on the line of Gen X and baby boomer.
my
I'm right on
little
that.
brother. Yeah,
Well, Edward's got that Joe Cocker hair going and shit,
he
so
does.
he's more of a boomer,
I wish he would podcast like Cocker with the.
That's right.
He gets by with a little help from his friends.
Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah.
god! I never liked that guy. You just wrecked my whole night.
I love that guy. Joe
That guy.
Cocker
Oh, Cocker was
is
awesome.
aces, dude.
Edward, you've
I-
got to lift us up where we belong, man. Come
Oh,
on
yeah.
now.
No, there's another winner right there. Oh my god! Yeah, no, not really my favorite. Would you say genre of music at all? But yeah, well, I guess it could be if it was just
But
no.
you want to be an American. He says where the Eagles fly in that song.
Well, that's
Yeah,
we can have Eagles around
like
here
the
too.
mountainside. Yeah, yeah.
I just
You
don't.
gotta understand,
I don't
Sean is his own generation. It's called Generation Sean.
Yeah.
That's a good generation. Actually,
Yeah,
He's
Sean,
really
younger
is.
than me. He's younger than me too.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm younger. This is what's funny to me, JC, is that
Yeah.
I've been doing this with Paul for 3 years. I've been doing this on my own, or before that for another year, so 4 years, and it's always I fit in with the late Gen X, very young boomers.
Yep.
Um, but
See,
I still know the lingo because I have a 13-year-old kid. So I still like all the way down to that. Know when they're saying things, I finally figure out, because it takes me a minute, figure out what the hell they mean when they say, that's this or that's that. Or
Can I,
Paul,
you
are
didn't
you
say it's
can I
are
cool.
you
make a funny
confessing to
point?
being a millennial?
Oh, not a millennial.
Not
No,
even
no,
close
no.
to millennial.
No,
I
I
don't
was born the year that Star Wars came out.
75?
77.
78.
7.
All right, fair
77.
enough.
I
1977.
I
I
have to
think
make
you're
I have to make a funny
It
point.
was
right?
Christmas time of 77. I was born before the movie came out. I
Okay.
went to it with my parents. I would have had no idea. I wouldn't have remembered it. But my parents recall taking me to the movie so they could see it because it was the biggest thing on the planet in
Yeah, it was okay.
1977.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
JC, his parents are eating Quaaludes and go, hey, let's go see Star Wars.
Right?
Paul, things were a lot more relaxed back then, especially in pharmaceuticals before they caught on to the Sacklers.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, actually, life was so much different back then. And I got to make a point. I got a funny story. I don't know what you guys, get who follow you or not on X, but like I told you before, I got half of these Chinese girls, the whole country following me, always messaging nonstop. And you know what? They always say, because they say, oh, you know what? I'm 60 years old, girl. Like, and they say, well, age doesn't matter. I'm thinking, how can age, decades apart, our music's going to be different. How we lived and grew up is going to be different. Everything's different. What possible likenesses, interests, anything
Wait,
you have?
wait, wait.
Or
Elon is solving
Uh-oh,
that.
Sean's got something.
He is.
what?
Elon is solving this with XAI, that he's bringing
Obviously.
out companions. So you're not going to
I
need to
saw that.
interact with a
And
human
she's
anymore.
and she's got fishnets on, so I mean that's
Oh my
gotta be
God!
good, right?
Did
Yeah.
you see what he said about the male companion? It's part somebody from if, a younger generation. I can't remember the name of the movie, but and then part 50 Shades of Grey is going to be the male companion.
What?
Yeah,
Oh, geez.
so chicks will be able to get onto this thing and uh, take care of whatever their
I'm
desires
going to have
are.
to
He's
take care because
now,
that's how chicks view me.
now
I
that
go
now that
to the
Elon
grocery store and stuff, and
What
I'm
a
pushing
now
the
that
cart
Elon
down the
now that
aisle,
Elon
and
now
there's
that
some
Elon
20
lost
something
out
there
on all the
going,
corporate
Go
welfare, he's got
to
to make
hey,
an honest living, so he's
Paul.
going to porn.
Paul, go to X right now and search for Elon's post because
Oh
he's
yeah.
asking what should we name it, and it should probably be called Paul C. Gant.
okay, I'm talking about orderly, I say.
I think we should call it King Edward. That's what I
No, I don't think so. No, no.
Hey,
The
Edward,
white
I got
liberal
to
women
tell you
will lose
something.
their shit.
I
I
No
think
got to tell you
king.
something, Edward. Hold on a minute. My
what?
papa was 100% Cherokee Indian, and his whole life he smoked King Edward cigars,
yeah.
and he from
All
Waco,
right.
Texas, and he called them King Edwards.
Can
And
getters?
when I was a little boy, he'd go to the cabinet and get me some King Edwards, and
That's
that was the little box of 4 King Edward cigars.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but my
You know when I
papa
hear
called them King Edwards.
Paul, when I hear that, I hear keg enders. And I'm like, yeah, I'm all in favor of keg enders. Have a graceful exit.
Yeah.
good one. Yeah, I don't even know where we're going with this conversation now.
Oh,
Well,
With Elon Musk.
I was going to ask the four of us here are intelligent enough to decide the question, but what is the greater internet going to feel about the knowledge that is going to have to slowly roll out through X because the TV won't talk about it?
There's no other
That
replacement.
Biden has admitted, yeah, I wasn't personally responsible for the late pardons, and that his wife's chief of staffs pleaded the fifth. Are they just going to do what they normally do and say I don't give a shit? But Trump, Paul
Only,
first,
only if,
Paul first,
only if we let them.
Paul go.
you know what I feel about all of that? I don't give two shits. That's old news. It's in the past. I don't give a shit who had the auto pin. I don't give a shit. Don't spend my taxpayer money on trying to run down these fucking guys because all of them are lawyers. So you're going to just get wrapped up in lawyer speak and nothing's ever going to be resolved. Just fucking drop it, dude. The guy, everybody knows he was not in control of his facilities. Everybody knows that Jill, uh,
Ran the
that
deal.
little dorky ass needle dick guy, was signing the auto pin. Nobody cares. Nobody
Probably
fucking
signing it
cares.
with the needle
Let's just
dick.
move on with the country.
Well, let's go around the horn on this one because I think there's going to be thoughts. JC, you want to go next?
Well, actually, I think you can pierce the. Edward and I were messaging a little bit earlier, and I told him that I always try to be concise. If you want, and I know that sounds really funny because I talk a lot, but
Oh, good.
if you want to pierce the fog, what you say is this: Epstein diddled 200 girls. Fauci killed 400,000 Americans.
At least, yeah.
Yeah.
On the
Are
world.
we just a statistic or do we care about justice?
Mm-hmm.
You can win with that if you stay with it. And remember, the biopharmaceutical complex is every bit as evil as the military industrial complex. In fact, maybe more so.
Well,
And there's every bit as much money spent on them as there is on look, Sean, that thing that we had last night, I've been speaking with Edward back channel about it, about Patrick Soon Shong and the biostrike and the idea that it's 7 to 14 days to cure anything, whether it be sepsis, cancer, whatever, if you just take this interleukin 15 shot. I totally believe that's true because the duration of antibiotics is 10 days. That's all it takes your body if they've got the goods to overcome damn near anything. And it's the most exciting thing in medicine that I've ever heard of. And the reason it's exciting is because it makes sense to me. Antibiotics take 10 days to work. Your body just needs to be reinforced for 10 to 14 days, and you can overcome any challenge. That's the sort of messaging that wins the day. And the last part of that message, and I'm already giving away Tuesday, is Patrick Soon Shong is the Trump of the biopharmaceutical complex. Nobody owned him. He didn't take one dime of pharmaceutical funding in his research, not one. And
I
yet,
still have,
all the money we've spent on all those studies that all my classmates and the politically correct clowns memorized all those years, and they spout off and they say, oh, you don't want to talk specifics. I go, look, you're full of shit. Okay. The fact is, the body works in macro, not micro. And if you've got macro right, we're so miraculous that we heal ourselves. That's what red light therapy is about. That's what it's all about. That's what holistic healthcare is about. I'll step down off my soapbox, but
Yeah, so Edward,
this brother, this is my life's work for the rest of my life.
we're gonna
I
talk
will
plenty about this stuff. We're gonna talk plenty about this
march.
stuff.
well, we got
So no, Edward. Let me keep you. What? So we were gonna do around the horn. Auto pin. You give a shit. You want some justice. You don't
well,
give a
actually,
shit.
we can't keep forgoing justice because that's been the game plan and the libtards, I mean, the Democrats already know that. That's why they can say and do whatever they want with no accountability because they know everybody's going to forget about it, brush it off, and who's got the time because things are so fast paced. Let's not spend all our resources and times, and I agree with that, but we still can't forget justice, and everybody has to be accountable and responsible. And that's pretty much out the window anymore when you get into politics, to be honest. I mean,
Your
come on.
battle. Pick
We
your
all,
battle, the most three egregious cases of those pardons, and you can get somewhere. If you start listing them all, you're dead.
yeah. And now you know what? Now you are being strident, Mr. Curmudgeon. So yeah, curmudgeons and strident doesn't
I
go. They don't
I
go too well. Together.
I get where Paul's going. You got to just move forward and do the things. Like
Oh, yeah.
Right.
if you send the resources all to go fight this thing that was in the past, but I also have a but. Like you can't just be George Bush or George H.W. Bush and
Oh,
just get slapped across the face with a big giant dong over and over and over and go, well, here's my other cheek. Somebody's got to be held accountable at some
But
point
wait a
to
second.
correct to
No,
correct the action has to be corrected.
but
I
no,
want to.
we've been seeing that.
I want to hear from Paul. What do you think, Paul?
I
Right.
think I think there are other things that we could spend our taxpayer money on investigating that are much more consequential than whether this fucking guy signed a bunch of releases of prisoners with the auto pen. I don't give a shit. I
No.
don't give two shits about that
I
What
think
about
what
because
people
once
are
those
looking at.
guys, because of recidivism, JC, those guys are going to hit the street. They're going to reoffend. I've been a cop 25 years. They're gonna reoffend, and we're gonna scoop them up. And if they fuck around, we're gonna end them. and that's just how it is. And I don't care if fucking Billy Bob Thornton controlled the auto pen. I don't care if Biden was not cognizant. We all know that. It's just obvious that he was not there. There's stuff to move America forward. Hang on. There's stuff
No, no, I'm
that
not
we
trying
need
to
to do
interrupt.
to move America forward to make us the greatest nation on earth where we don't, because it seems like we're Democrats when we go, oh, we're going to investigate this, we're going to investigate that, we're going to kick your ass here. I don't give a shit about that, dude. I don't give a shit
Paul,
about Epstein. I don't give a
what about
shit.
Fauci?
Yeah, Fauci. No, that's no. 100%. That's different.
Okay,
No,
because
no, no, no. 100%.
the auto pen is the
That's
key to
apples and
that.
oranges. No,
You
Fauci
got to get
killed
him.
400
You've
people.
got to get him.
Yeah.
Autopen's the key to Fauci. He
Yes,
was
you've
pardoned.
got to
He
get
was
him.
pardoned by Autopen.
You pick your 3 targets carefully and you get them.
As the example, you mean to make an example out of them is what you're saying.
Right.
Really,
Because if you don't,
Fauci needs to spend the last 2 minutes of his life.
Wait. You said something I don't understand. So Fauci was
Autopen pardoned from
pardoned
Yes.
on the
2014
auto.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know
until the
that.
day
okay,
until the
cool.
day that Biden left office. He was pardoned from
Oh, I did not know.
2014
I fucking did not know that.
until,
Hey,
which
Paul,
is when
I'll
wait, what
stand
happened
down.
in
I'm going to quit
2014?
yelling. All right.
We're gonna run a little bit long for everybody that's watching. In 2014, when Obama found out that in North Carolina, Fauci was building the bioweapon COVID. Sorry, to everybody on YouTube, the ouchie that was being researched in North Carolina at UNC in 2014. Obama found out about this and he said, Fauci, get that shit the fuck off our continent. And
Yes, he
Fauci
did.
said, great, I'll take it to Ukraine and to China.
And China.
you
That's
forgot,
right.
you forgot Manitoba, Canada.
And that's why his pardon goes back to 2014, signed before midnight on the senile MF's last day in office by the auto pen. That cannot stand, Paul.
No.
No, JC, I didn't know that. I didn't realize
All
that.
right.
So I'm speaking in general terms on it just
Right.
seems like finger pointing. And that's exactly what Schumer does and
Yeah.
and those guys, with their finger, they're fucking stupid.
Do you realize how much Schumer looks like that guy on the subway in the raincoat that's muttering to the little girls at the end of the platform? You
Oh
ever
yeah,
think about that?
yeah. The only
It's
thing
him.
is
No,
dick
it
small.
is.
Yeah.
Paul, listen, we're not at all enemies. I agree with you on all those crooks. They'll all get rounded back up. They can't help themselves. That's not slightly important. But 3 high-profile people like that, we need to do it,
Oh, absolutely. We need to do
the
them
apparatus
in. Hell
that
yeah.
else the apparatus that prosecuted Trump will be waiting for the next Democrat president to just pick right back up, and they won't apologize.
No, you're right. Yeah.
Okay.
I've got a
all right,
308
cool.
that I'm accurate out to maybe 800 yards.
You know what? I gotta say one important thing. And this all revolves around what we're talking about, and that's that biggest slide we've all been told. Remember, we talked about this, Sean. That no one is above the law. That's a crock of shit, y'all. Everybody knows that. There's everybody working outside the law, politically speaking. So,
Hey, Edward, did you ever remember how the Greeks fell and the Romans fell? There's people above the law.
Yeah.
exactly. And this is my point.
Yeah.
So, to say that, we're going to make an example, and we need to do that, there's no doubt.
Again, and Paul, I'm glad you're hearing this.
Absolutely.
This is why we're so adamant about the auto pen, and we want some more resolve out of it. It's not.
Yeah.
It literally has nothing to do with going all the way down the line. Who the fuck was running it? It's to get to the bottom to annul some of these.
Yeah.
so
Yes.
that we can prosecute Fauci.
He
We can
needs to
prosecute a
swing.
few
I
others.
got that.
We have
and
to
I
annul
didn't,
That
I
and
little
didn't
we're gonna
realize
ferret
it
needs to
before.
swing.
and by annulling it, we're gonna annul all of them. Does that mean we're gonna waste time and resources to come across
No.
and prosecute them? No. No. But we have
Just
to
Fauci and
annul
Mayorkas.
all of the late term pardons and commutations so that we can go after the three big, Fauci being the top dog.
Yeah.
JC,
Mayorkas has to be there.
Mayorkas has to be in there too, Paul.
100%. Oh, that piece of shit. Yeah.
He
Four.
created
Yeah.
the
Oh, yeah.
invasion.
Yeah.
I love you, Paul. All right. By the way, I want to just make a comment. This is the difference between conservatives when they disagree and left wingers. All right.
Yeah.
I love you, man. You're great.
Right?
I gotta have some of
Yeah.
that Voodoo IPA Ranger. I do. All right.
Well, hey, everybody, listen, you guys need to share this with your friends. The Rumble link will be available live right after we close this out, which we're going to do. You could share the Twitter link. Get all your followers to follow
Wait,
this.
don't kill it yet, though, Sean.
I
'cause I
won't.
want to say one thing.
The best thing is for Edward, we got to get more Canucks to watch this because your news is
Yeah.
censored in Canada.
We're getting
Oh, wait,
no,
isn't that KGP? Canada, right? Canada. Paul, what do you have?
I got just for the three of you, I got 20 acres in East Texas. I got plenty of guest bedrooms. I've got a 100-yard range on the property. I've got a big grill. I think we should make a plan where you bitches come down and stay for a long weekend. And I got hogs that come out here and ruin my pasture. We can sit out here in the afternoon, smoke cigars, drink a little brown water, kill some fucking hogs, put them on the grill, and have a great time.
Love that.
Put the apple in their mouth, turn them on the spit, pretend they're Rosie O'Donnell. Absolutely.
Will there be? So there will be gunplay then. We're all in.
Yeah. Hey,
I'll
Andrew,
bring all
you know
mine.
what guns are, right?
What's that?
You know what guns are, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
You just
so-
can't own one. Yeah.
Well, lots of us do. It's
Don't-
handguns right now they've taken away. But
Well, I got about
Yes, brother.
35 or 40 firearms, long guns, pistols. I've got two
Wonderful.
pistol
this was a weekend.
targets. I've got a 50-yard steel target. I got a 70-yard steel target. I got a 100-yard steel target where we bring out the long guns. I got AR-10s, AR-15s, 308s, 380s. I got everything you could ever imagine.
I think I could hit it with
And-
a 22 long rifle. I
Paul.
don't know if I could hit that with ballistic missiles. And
No,
know you have
I've
both
got I got a. So what I bought for Tanya, Sean, is I bought her an AR-15 in 22 long rifle.
Oh, dude, those things are so
And
slick.
she oh,
They're
dude,
slick.
she'll
Hey, Paul.
outshoot all you fuckers,
Probably.
even
I
with MS.
All right, we
Brother,
can
I
close
can
it out.
see-
Hey, to the four of you here, including me, share this episode and then have your friends share this episode. We are off tomorrow. We always take Thursdays off. We got to go, brothers.
All right.
I had a great time having you. We got to go. Had a good time.
Oh, you guys are awesome. You know, what I was hoping to say at the end there was, if I'm confronted with Paul Grant and all that, I'll just look up at it and go like on Field of Dreams. Is this heaven? Yeah, no, it's Texas.
That's awesome. If
Next
you
time
feel it, they will come, Paul. Good night, everybody. We'll see you. Good night.
Good night.
Sounds great. Bye.